How you doing? This is Matty Cruz, bringing you the gap between the rich and the poor, coming from the great state of Texas and again, the great state of Virginia. Again.
Once more.
With my friend Stephen West, another affiliate, and we want to talk to you guys about mindset because without the right mindset, as a new affiliate or as an affiliate that has been over a year, you will fail your business. Okay, you agree with me there, Stephen?
Yeah, you could take affiliate marketing out and insert any other career, job, pursuit in life, but possibly more so. We will talk specifically around the mindset and how it pertains to affiliate marketing, how it helps, how it'll kill you if you don't have the right one, I guess.
Yeah. So I got here a couple of points, and I wanted to start with. I'm going to go just right deep from the beginning. The topic of struggle, because again, we all can have excuses about I don't want to do this, or I can't do this, or I'm too old, or whatever is that you want to put an excuse. Fill the blank in whatever is in your mind.
Right.
But it is easy to have a great mindset when everything is going great. But it's not easy when you're dealing with health issues like I am, dealing with PTSD like I am, right, and dealing with a bunch of other slew of things.
Right. So the question is, so your mindset can only be tested by struggle because, like you said, who ain't happy when now there are some people, and I have very little family members that are friends with me on Facebook, and I know my brother don't even have Facebook. But I'm going to tell you, he's negative about everything. Like the sun could be shining, everything can be good. He's still going to be complaining. So even some people have a bad mindset when life is good. But for most people, he's just different, right? And we make good business partners. We're in business together because we are so opposite. Like I'm so optimistic, he's so pessimistic. We kind of meet in the middle, right? So I'm not saying there shouldn't be people who aren't as overly optimistic as me. He's probably saving me money and mistakes. But to your point, how do you know what your mindset is until it's tested? Anybody can say they're happy when the sun's shining and the wind's at your back and the sun's on your face and there's plenty of money in the account. So it's funny. I just found out about what your topic is going to be a little while ago, but I call myself walking curriculum. Anything I'm passionate and excited about, I can just talk forever about. So it's interesting to look at what's the difference between a brain. What is mindset? It gets thrown around a lot, but let's define it for the purpose of this conversation. It's how you set your mind, not to over simplify it. And so what is a setting of the mind? So what's the difference between your brain and your mind? The brain is an organ. It's made up of cells and tissues and it's an organ. The mind, you can't touch it. That's harder to define. So, there's let's consider the brain, the hardware, which you can see and touch like my computer. But the mind is a software. It's hard to touch software. I can't really touch Excel. I can leverage it. It's a bunch of zeros and ones that are baked in somewhere. The code wouldn't know what I was looking at. So it's the code. It's the operating system. So think about, they do brain surgery. They don't do mind surgery. I'm not going to take some notes here. Nobody ever says I made up my brain. No, you make up your mind. So you don't set up your brain, you set your mind. You have very little control over your brain. And I know Dr. Amen's got some research about that there is a ways to affect the biochemistry in the brain, serotonin levels and all that. But, you don't tell them, I'm going to give them a piece of my brain. That would be weird. That sounds like
a piece of my mind.
Right? I'm going to give a piece of my mind. I'm going to speak my mind, not brain. I'm going to made up my mind. You don't ever make up your brain, right? So it implies you have some control over this thing we call mind. So there is a mindset. What does that mean? It's settings, right? Set is short for settings. Like I can set settings in my PC, in my phone, in my Fitbit, in my car. I can set cruise control, which is part of the problem. We set a cell phone cruise control. And then, like you said, always happen. A tooth hurts. You have a health challenge. You have a financial challenge, and all of a sudden you want to jump off a bridge or something. So a thermostat. So here's the thing. It's 68 degrees outside here today, 69, 70. And so my thermostat don't need to do anything. It's set to come on if it gets hot. It don't get hot. The heat's not going to come on. The cold's not going to come on. What's going to test my thermostat is it getting hot and getting cold, right? It's a perfect temperature. So think of your mindset or your setting or your mind is how is it going to control the temperature of your thinking when there are extremes. It's hot, the AC should come off. It gets cold, but if everything's good like it is right now, I mean, it's gorgeous. I just shut the door and closed the screen. I mean, I had the screen open just because it's so amazing out there. But I know how it would be. And so what I tell my kids to set the table. We set out our clothes the night before. We can set an appointment. We can, in our investment strategies that you and I happen to be really fond of, we can set it and forget it. Well, that's another problem of mine.
Set your box.
We set them and forget them. And so you hear them talk about mindfulness and being mindful, but everybody talks about brainfulness. So when you say, oh, never mind, nobody ever says never brain, though I believe there's some brainless people. Hey, we talk about brain food. There are foods, there's certain nutrients that your brain, the organ needs, but I would have you consider it as mind food. And that would be more the how you program the software, the reading, the listening, the watching, who you hang out with. And there's junk food for your brain too, which is
definitely
negative junk. So how did that do to kind of set the tone for the
I think that set it perfectly. I will actually, with the analogy you did on setting something, that for me, mindset, and you got negative people, you got positive people. The way, some people I understand. Example, like me, I came from a broken home. My dad was an alcoholic and a narcissist. So I came from a very tough childhood. So I was conditioned to be negative. So to get out of that mindset of conditioning, because it was nurture, because basically my dad would tell me, you can't do nothing right. Everything you do is wrong. You need to do it this way. I had to basically break patterns in my mind, and that wasn't easy because it's like you're in a jail.
Right.
Your mind is in a jail is one comparison that I wanted to say. And it's like you're wearing sunglasses in a beautiful day. So everything you see is just dark.
Yeah.
And so again, if that's the nurture that you receive, like me, like I said, I have all the excuses in the world. Right. Like I told Stephen before we started today, I was abused. I have PTSD. I'm dealing with systemic lupus, fibromyalgia, diabetes. They took half of my lung. You name it. I gone through everything that you can imagine, hell and back.
Right.
Former military. And still, I don't let that define me on what I'm doing today, because I know what my vision is, and that no matter what goes around me, I know where I'm going. And I think mindset is not only tied to your present, but it's also tied to the past, the future, and your vision. You agree with that, man? So can you comment on that?
I'm glad you brought that up, because everybody has struggles, but to varying degrees. I've had a really good life so far compared to yours. I mean, I did not grow up in a broken home. My mother and father had a horrible marriage, but they at least stayed together. My dad, my whole family are teetotalers. I mean, we're the opposite alcoholics. We were like tea-aholics. We drank Mountain Dew and tea. That was our closest thing to a vice we had. So no alcoholism in the family. My daddy probably didn't hit me as much as he should. Yes, I said that. I was mean and needed hitting more. I'll just tell you. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but I ain't telling you to spank your kids. But daddy should have hit me as a grown man at 50 years old. Daddy should have hit me more than he did. But anyway, there is such a thing as healthy fear of your father. Healthy. Notice I said healthy. Now, so we can get away from what may be perceived as condoning child abuse. I'm not saying that, but especially to somebody who's been abused, you got to be very careful what you say, and you can believe what you got to believe, but you got to put it in context. So everybody has daddy issues. Everybody has daddy issues. Even if you didn't know your daddy growing up, you got daddy issues because you were abandoned by your daddy. Even if they're good issues, if your daddy was just like the best daddy ever, right? And so my daddy was pretty good, and yet he had his faults, right? And so I am 50 years old, and I've paid people a lot of money to figure out what my daddy issues were. I'm talking to the point of tears, where I realized things that happened to him when he was 12 before I was born molded me and shaped me. Okay. So that's real. So what I'm going to tell you is your past and your struggles and all the stuff that's real. And that's part of why you have to work on mindset, because the settings were already set for you when you were a child. A lot of these settings were hardwired. And
It's
you
like you're on autopilot.
and iron and cut stuff. I mean, it's not just flipping a switch like cutting the lights
Yeah,
on
I know.
in the room.
No, it's
It's
not.
a complete redesign and rewiring, and that takes time and it's painful. And
Oh
people,
yeah.
you like to throw stuff in the microwave. I mean, you remember before we had microwave popcorn, you had to like get butter and oil. You had to
The
blend that
pop
thing.
one with the aluminum that you put
Yeah.
in the stove. That
Even
will
my
take
kids ain't got
forever.
time for that. If you try to talk to me, hey, let's cook popcorn the old-fashioned way. They microwave some first so they got something to eat while you're doing it. So we expect things to happen so fast. So I was going to tell you, though, what I got while you were saying that is, so the things that happen to you are the frame.
Yes.
But
yes.
the painting that you paint, the photograph that you put in there, that's up to you. Sometimes you inherit the frame.
Yes.
You're given the frame. But what you put inside of the frame, and think about a frame without a photo or a painting in it. It's just a frame. It can be a beautiful frame. It can be an antique frame. It can be
yes.
It can be beautiful, but it seems a little like it's leaving something out of it on how to picture. And then think about a picture that's beautiful that doesn't have a frame. The two go together. So you got to consider that your past and your struggles and everything is a frame, and you need to change the frame if the frame doesn't serve you. Right. Exactly. What if the frame doesn't match the painting and so forth? So I would consider that you've had a frame set in your life, because, you know, we can talk about NLP and biases and frame control. Frames is a way to get communicate with others, but you got to first set a strong frame on yourself.
Yes.
And like you said, you're not going to take excuses, and you're not alone in human suffering. That there'll be many, there were many before you. There are many now. There'll be many after we're gone that will suffer and struggle most of the time, oftentimes due to their own poor choices. But we tend to blame other people.
Yes.
My dad or my mom or my genetics or whatever. And some of those things are real. You have real things that happen with your mom and your dad. And I'm not smart enough to understand why you have so many, the health problems that you do. Okay. Maybe you ate poorly growing up. Maybe it was poor nutrition. Maybe you just got some genetic stuff. Because sometimes we use genetics as an excuse. And sometimes it's actual, hey, you know, I got a guy, I'm 50 years old. I've never had any heart problems. I got a buddy who's 42 years old. And in this year, he's had a stent put in and a 4-way bypass.
Oh my God.
How does that happen at 42 years old?
He's younger than us.
His father's never had any heart issues, but his grandfather on his mother's side has. So when you're looking at somebody, you're looking at, you know, years of genetic, decades, millennia, you know, thousands of years of genetics and pre-programming, and then the environment, and oh my gosh,
and nurture. I think personally the whole, because I was doing research on some autoimmune. They said it's genetics, but they don't know how to explain it. I mean, doctors, they say it's genetics, but personally, I think after doing a lot of research on it, because logically, when you're dealing with a health issue, you do research to understand why it's happening, is that when you deal with abuse and different kinds of lack of nurture, that can manifest in disease. And so I don't know if you ever heard of that, but I think
certainly even though I've been blessed, I've been concerned about a number of people in my family that weren't healthy. And again, we got the same genetics. I'm trying to figure stuff out. And so there are, like, last time I checked, it's been a while, there are over 80 some autoimmune diseases that have been labeled and identified. And they don't know what causes them, other than it appears to be an overactive immune system, meaning it's your body attacking itself.
Exactly.
Underactive immune systems show up as HIV, or actually AIDS, autoimmune deficiency,
or hypothyroidism,
or cancer. Everybody is cancerous all the time. There are trillions of cells in our body that mutate or don't regenerate properly, but your body says, oh, you're bad, you get out, you're a bad actor. When it metastasizes, when it takes over and becomes a norm. So it goes back to the operating system. The body has settings, and they're affected by this. The brain don't affect as much as the mind, how you think about something. So you're right. I have read countless studies about how spiritual things can manifest themselves physically. In other words, they've proven that unforgiveness can show up as cancer, heart disease, diabetes. And how I know that is they get the person to go through not a physical regimen, no chemo, no radiation. They go through a forgiveness exercise, and once they forgive, cancer goes away, heart disease goes away, whatever. So there's so much of a mind body connection that what would, you know, and so if we get back to business, what would make you get up and do whatever it's going to take? The hard stuff's going to make you successful. building an
Mhm.
email list, making sales calls,
Yeah.
doing whatever,
Be
doing marketing,
disciplined, be
doing
persistent, all this stuff that you need for actually keeping a business, starting a business. So you know what? I keep hearing new newbies in the affiliate world said in TikTok, oh, the most difficult starting. I'm like, no, it's not. The most difficult is keeping your business when you're struggling with being
right.
financial issues or you don't understand what is happening, because in our area of affiliate marketing is very changing. So that means that you have to be constantly what? Learning.
Right.
You can't just like be like, oh, I know everything now and I'm gonna be done. And the same with mindset. It doesn't
Right.
stop.
But people don't mean what they say, and don't say what they mean, because it sounds like a good excuse to say the hardest part is starting. And then why do they stop and restart so much? You know what
Exactly.
the worst thing you can do to diet or exercise regime is stop, because then it
Mhm.
is hard to restart. So if people hate starting so much, then why do they stop and restart so much? So
Mm,
I don't, and so well, and that goes back to mindset too. If you don't understand how your actual brain works, which is the
mhm.
hardware again in brain chemistry, is your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's been fabricated. Now you can use
Yes.
that to your advantage and you can visualize and you can get yourself to
Oh
do
my
things,
God, yes.
but you can self-sabotage by telling yourself you're going to do something. Your brain will think you've done it and you won't show up and take action. So
Yes.
if you watch a lot of content, wherever it may be, YouTube, TikTok, fill in the blank, okay,
Mhm.
if you watch enough content, your brain will be convinced that you're successful in business, because
Yes.
so I'm not saying you shouldn't listen to things and learn things, but as one of our mentors taught us, is if you don't have a beginning, at least a 1-to-1, I'm talking about Jason Fladland, at least 1-to-1 ratio of learning and doing, it's more, a lot of things we do in life are more caught than taught, meaning you got to
Yeah.
go do it,
Do
then
it.
listen to somebody talk about it.
Implementation.
But
Yeah.
you can get so much dopamine from listening to somebody talk about it. It's really boring to stop the video or stop TikTok or stop scrolling social media
Mhm.
and go actually do something.
You can
That's
get
the
stuck
hard
in the beginning. The newbies also get stuck in the learning thing, the learning vicious cycle, and they don't implement.
No, and you can
Like
feel
you
like
said,
you're
it
more
has to
busy
be,
today. You can
it's
watch
learn and
16 hours of
implement.
YouTube videos, yeah, and feel busy.
Learn, implement, learn, implement. But you know what? You just like basically quoted Bob Proctor
Mm-hmm. Right.
that what you imagine, that the brain cannot distinguish what is real from what you imagine, and that's why when I get a limited idea that says, "Oh, you can't do this," I'm like, "That's not true. That's not me talking. That's something that wants me stop me from what I need to accomplish. What I know what I need to do." So I said, I am going to take that out. No, I can do this. Let me see how I can do this. And Steven, I talk to a lot of people from all the world, and a lot of people say, I can't do it. That's the number one thing they can say. I
Which means
can't
they're
do it.
right, right? I think it was Henry Ford. I'm good at quoting quotes, can't remember who said it exact. I may paraphrase, but whether you think you can or you think you can't,
You're right.
you're right. So choose wisely. Yeah. So,
True, definitely. So I said, and then I actually talked to them about my struggles. And I said, really, I have all the excuses. I go back to the same thing. And I started the struggles on purpose because it is a matter of fact that when you start a business, you're going to have struggles. Am I right? I mean, is it going to go everything swimmingly?
on the one hand, if it was easy, everybody would be a billionaire, right?
Exactly.
But there's a reason there's a fortune list, right? List of the richest people on earth.
Yep.
And yet the flip side of that. So it's funny. I was just studying biases because I've been studying cognitive biases for a while now. I think I first heard about them from Charlie Munger. Most people don't know who Charlie Munger is, but he's
Yes, I heard
business
of him.
partners with Warren Buffett. He's the more famous of the two, but he's
Yes.
100,000 years old, got $100 billion, just like Warren Buffett. And he talks about cognitive biases. I think there's like 24 of them. So
Mhm.
I was just recently chatting with a fella about these biases, and he sent me a thing where you can study all 24 of them. And if it was 2 or 3, that would be one thing. But the fact that our brains have 24 of them almost can just defeat you, right? So, well, I'm so wired to self-sabotage. What do I do? Well, no one's half the battle. The other half's taking action, doing something about it. But why? The question is, why do we have cognitive biases? And I want to share this with our audience here, because this is transformational. If I work out really hard, and I have a Fitbit, so I track the calories that I burn. If I work out really hard, like get 10,000 steps, go lift weights, go do aerobic workout, I might burn 3,000 calories. That's with physical expenditure, okay? But chess champions who are going to play to be the chess champion of the world, I'm talking about highest level, can burn 6,000 calories a day. And they're only, think of how little they're moving their body.
Wow.
I want you to understand that you burn twice as many calories with your brain than you do with your body.
Yes.
The athletic. I'm not training for the Olympics or anything, so I'm not saying there aren't people that don't burn 10,000 calories a day, but I'm just saying working out regularly versus chess champions. So that means your brain burns a lot of calories, and we are adaptive. And so I'll tell you, most people don't get this. It's changed my life. When you ask somebody what's the number one purpose of thinking for a human being, is to stop it as soon as possible. Because it burns too many calories. It's inefficient to think. So we come up with 24 different biases that will stop us from thinking.
Like a wall.
So we can go back to being reptiles.
Like wall.
Isn't that amazing? 6,000 calories to play chess. And if you're a hunter-gatherer, you ain't got time for that. You can't, you don't want, I mean, meals are precious when you're a hunter-gatherer, right? Let's say we live in a time where there's no capitalism. We live in, we just don't have the means to go get nutrients anytime we want to. Then you want to think as little as possible. Thinking is dangerous. And so we tend to be very much, let's default to, and all the stuff when you're affiliate marketing, that's a scam. I don't believe in that. I might work for so-and-so.
I don't have the money.
That's all of that stuff to get you stop thinking as fast as possible so you can get back to your comfort zone. And then you spend most of your energy trying to come up with excuses why so-and-so was able to do it, but you couldn't. They must have been special. They were born with a different situation. Yeah. And so it's good that you can tell them, I don't know what excuses you got, but I got this and this and this and this.
That's why I talk about it all the time, because a lot of people think that people get here overnight. So one thing that the new affiliates think, because this is what happened to me like 6 years ago when I started affiliate marketing, is that we got a lot of people that hype people. And I mean, in the affiliate marketing world, and say, oh, you're going to make $50,000 in the next 6 months, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, okay, why did I believe that when I started 6 years ago? So the issue of patience in a business. And 2, do you start running a bike as a baby? Magically, you start running a bike. Do you start walking in one setting? Do you go to college in 1 year? Anything that we do, we have to learn that, and especially in our area, it changes constantly. It's more about try and error. Right. So again, we have to keep studying. So why is it that people hype people? So I try to be honest with people and be like, hey, yeah, you can make money, and I'm making this, but that's because I've been doing this for 6 years. So they see the end of the road or the middle of the road, and they're in the beginning and they want those results.
Well, yeah, with microwave popcorn, right? And so we said, so one of the things I've learned from some of my mentors recently, because I have lots of them, because I want to be getting over my own stuff and working on my mindset, is you got to surround yourself with people who are where you want to be, not where you've been, because what good is that? But anyway, they said, don't compare somebody else's chapter 20 to your chapter 1.
Yes.
I'm further down the road. And so it's unfair. Because I'm not a doctor, don't even play one on TV. But you got to think about how long they go to school. We recognize the more specialized they are, the longer they go to school. Now I get maybe my accountant might have went to school for 4 years, right? I guess you can go to school for 4 years and be a CPA. I don't know. But I recognize that he might be a good accountant, but I don't necessarily want him doing my brain surgery. I recognize that a brain surgeon is difficult and as special as that is, probably goes to school more than 4 years. And same with my pilot. If I get on an airplane, I want to know he didn't just, play a video game to figure that out.
Exactly.
Yes. So I don't know why, if you're your first year in pre-med, would you expect to be, Ben Carson, who was
doing surgery and stuff.
world renowned brain surgeon. Why would you expect to, hey, I watched a YouTube video. It's kind of like the stupid Holiday Inn Express commercials, right? He's like, oh, don't worry. Are you a doctor? No, but I slept at a Holiday Inn Express, meaning you sleep so good here, you can achieve things you never dreamed of, to the point that, no, we don't need a doctor. We need somebody to sleep in Holiday Inn Express. Well, I mean, that's a cute commercial and that's good marketing. Really expect that. So, yeah, I think there's been, so one of my friends on Facebook, and you really use that term loosely because what's a friend on Facebook, right? But someone that you've connected with on Facebook was wearing Amy. I'm gonna name names. I'm not gonna name the guy's name, but he specifically was calling out an Amy Porterfield Facebook ad. Now, Amy Porterfield is a rock star. Okay, she's really successful. What he took to task was the fact that her ad said she sent 2 emails and made $100,000. Well, yeah, Amy Porterfield can do that. But the average person learning affiliate marketing on TikTok today is not going to send 2 emails and make $100,000.
No.
So the point was not to think you could be Amy Porterfield, but if she could show you things she did to crawl, then walk, then run, and then suck for a long time. So I think we got to be careful when we're marketing to paint a picture of what's possible without making it act like it's right around the corner.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So,
I totally agree.
So I took a different stance because I like playing devil's advocate. Everybody was agreeing with him. Yeah, she shouldn't have done that. She ought to go. I said, hey, number one, I had 3 points. Number one, Amy's awesome. Number two, I happen to have studied her recently. And yes, there is more to the story. And number 3, Amy's awesome. So we're not going to put her. I mean, I get using somebody as a. And
I bet she's doing it for a long time too. It's not something that happened overnight either.
But he has every right to challenge what maybe could be perceived in that. And wasn't that because I'll challenge stuff that Warren Buffett said. And what do I know? He's the smartest investor ever. But when he calls crypto rat poison, I take exception to that.
Exactly. We can't. So we don't have to listen to everything everybody
challenge something Bill Gates or Warren Buffett or Stephen Hawking says because they don't know everything. And that's the thing. We can't all know everything. We can't all know everything. And so,
no, we can't. It's impossible. I mean, that's why we have specializations in the doctor fields. You don't have a doctor that does everything. Well, we got a general doctor, but again, if you want to know,
just refers you to a specialist.
Exactly.
Right?
It's going to pass you to an internist. It's going to pass you. But you know what? It's funny that you mentioned this about results because I was looking at my affiliate sales in Kartra and the number of clicks on my campaign with a plan. So for what I sold, you know how many people click on my stuff?
A lot.
3,500 people. And I said,
click.
So I got 5 sales from that.
Wow.
So, but the point I'm saying is 3,500 clicks.
I'm finding the calculator.
Sales.
5 sales out of 3,500 clicks.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Well, that's 0.1%. That's low.
Yeah, affiliate marketing is usually 1%, isn't it?
Be honest, if you want to divulge your source, where did most of your traffic come from?
Social media, logically.
Be specific. Can you be more specific? Because I know where to get
TikTok.
So it's still we're talking here. We're talking, right? So on the one hand, we agree, you and I agree that TikTok is the place to get organic reach like there is no other. Facebook. By
the way, I just got suspended. I didn't tell you.
No, I didn't know you got suspended. That's
today. Cool. No, last night. Because of talking at crypto is illegal activity in TikTok, and I broke community guidelines, so they suspended me, shadow ban. Started yesterday with they took me out of a live that I was in, where I had 1,000 people in the live. Took me down like that. Then they said, "Oh, your video broke community guidelines. Now you cannot enter your account until November or something." So I had to create like 6 more accounts because, again, look at what happened. I could have been like, "Oh my God, TikTok suspended me and I'm crying, blah, blah, blah." And what did I do? TikTok is not stopping me. Let me just start a bunch of other accounts with a bunch of other emails. And now I'm fixing the problem that.
Yeah. And you can get out of the shadow ban, right? It's kind of like getting banned on Facebook most of the time.
Well, I appealed and I lost all the appeals.
What was the primary reason? Because you talked about crypto.
Illegal activities.
Crypto's illegal? Well, Chinese on TikTok.
Illegal activities.
So that's even more reason to double down because I said, when China and Russia and Elizabeth Warren don't like crypto, that makes me double down on it because they're all communists.
Exactly.
But anyway,
tell us we can do it. Let's do it more.
So, but back to make a point about affiliate marketing is thank God you didn't pay to run Facebook ads to get poor cold traffic.
This
So
is
that's
organic.
why people
This is
get
organic
started in
traffic.
affiliate marketing. They get handed an offer. They don't even understand its unique selling position, what it might do for somebody. They don't have testimonials like, I want to run Facebook ads. No, you don't. Why don't you just write a blank check and send it to Zuckerberg? Make it out to Zuckerberg instead of running Facebook ads. At least you got that with just investing your time, because you didn't pay for that traffic, right?
No, I didn't.
And they clicked, maybe they opted in, you're building a list, maybe you got something. But the point is, it's such a small commitment to click. It's another thing to know you, love you, trust you, want to give you some money and think they're going to get what he's there. And then they realize that whatever it is they buy, they got to show up and work. You can't just buy a program and then sleep on it, and it soak in your head. I mean, you got to work. Like one of my favorite sayings, and somebody might have said it for him, but TD Jakes was the best at saying, it works if you work it. It works if you work it. Everybody wants something to work. So normally you hear a lot of complaints about, well, I tried that didn't work. They won't tell you the whole story. What didn't work was them.
Exactly.
It was one that didn't work, not something. Because being you and I both big fans of Robert Kiyosaki and Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yes, of course.
If you went and asked Rich Dad, is fill in the blank a good investment? Now, he came along before there was crypto, so you couldn't ask him about crypto.
Yeah.
But fill in the blank with stocks, real estate, commodities, precious metals, didn't matter what it was, whatever asset class,
insurance,
in there, yeah, whatever. He would say, I don't know, are you a good investor? Because in every market, there's people making money and people losing money. And guess where the money's going? It's flowing. You know what I did in the stock market? Made people wealthy, not myself. I wouldn't go money in the stock market because I didn't have rules. I didn't have automation. So why do I make money in crypto and I didn't in stock? Because I have two things. Rules and automation. I have a playground. I have a sandbox where I can play and I can be aggressive and I experiment, but I can't mess it up so bad because I am a gambler. I am a good entrepreneur, and I learned that good skills and entrepreneurship don't always make you a good investor. Warren Buffett said no a whole lot more than I did. He said no more than people are willing to look at. He read and read and read and read and read and read and waited for the best of the best of the best. And so to bring that back to affiliate marketing, sometimes some people promote every damn thing, right?
Yes, because they're trying to survive. Remember, we talked about that the last time we talked, that if you're trying to survive, and that's what I told somebody, because the people that I got is suspended because I had trolls that reported me. That's what happened, because I was getting.
Well, ain't that the case?
I only have 4,700 followers. Not like somebody told me you bought followers. Really? Why would I bought 4,700 followers?
Yeah, you can buy more.
You're a scammer. I said, a scammer tells you to go research. A scammer tells you, here's my information. Unless you think that I'm stupid.
I think I said this on the last call you and I did, and we need to make a podcast out of this. I really like our energy and talk. We just make this a recurring thing. But
oh my God, yeah.
I ain't trying to talk you into out of anything.
You got me in the first. But I was going to say, what I got from whatever you said just now was risk. We're willing to actually take a calculated risk for our family, because we're not doing this only for ourselves.
So life is risky. So I've worked in, I had only a poor dad growing up. I think I told that story last time. So I didn't have a rich dad. I had to go find them and pay them and read their books and go to their masterminds. And I spent ridiculous amount of money. So I had to go find my rich dad. So my poor dad said, "Don't look like you want to farm. Go to school, get good grades, get a good job." So I was working in corporate America, engineer, working in heavy industry. And there's a big push for OSHA and safety. And there should be. We don't want people to go to work. But you realize when you're working in dangerous environments, you work in oil and gas, or pulp and paper, there's high pressure, there's high temperature, there's chemicals, there's stuff in there that will kill you. And so they say, how can we do this safely? Not get out of the bed. Because as soon as you get up out of the bed and step out in the world, and there might be a thing hurtling from space towards your house right now. So where are you going to go that there isn't some risk? So here's what, we're not here to talk specifically about crypto, but it's a very polarizing topic.
Oh my God, yes.
Think about the things you got to pick sides on. There's either Trump, Biden, vaccine, mask. There's certain things that just people just and crypto's one of them. There's very few people just like
they either like it or, well, a lot of people don't know anything. I think the most people that I talked to, they didn't know anything about it.
But that goes back to the cognitive biases. They've already decided they're a genius.
Well,
and so I was just talking to my brother the other day. Brother's a smart guy. He didn't go to college. He stayed on a farm. So he has a different reference point than I do. I've flown all over the world. He ain't left 10-mile radius from his house. I think he went to Disney one time. He drove to Florida from Virginia. I think that's it. And that was a stretch for him. And he was in his 50s when he did that. He don't care. I would say the same thing to his face. I ain't picking on him, but I love him, and he's people I can relate to. And I filled up all the visa pages and a passport, traveling all over the world. So I've gotten different perspectives. But what I said before is, if you don't know you're biased, you'll either think you're not smart enough to be successful, or you think you're smarter than you are.
Exactly.
And you've got to find a balance, because like I said, who are you to see a scam? When Steven Spielberg got money taken by Bernie Madoff, so he took some really smart people's money, like probably smarter than us. So yes. And again, when you tell me everything I promote or everything I'm passionate about, everything I want to do is a scam, you at the core are calling into question my integrity and or my intelligence.
You call us liars.
Right. I mean, you're too ignorant to know, or I'm a scam, so
you're stupid, because again, if you're like basically showing in video that you're telling people do this. And I always say, hey, thank you for calling a former military police, army military police that actually is supposed to uphold the law a scammer. Thank you, because actually people that are trying to scam people are not going to tell you to research. Don't believe anything that I said. Go research. Check this guy.
What's the lesson in this? So let's bring this back to affiliate marketing. Your expectations is expect to have 3,500 people click and 5 buy because of their biases. They've decided you're a scammer. And I'm going to tell you something about human nature. Yes. We tend to see the world as we see ourselves. I wouldn't trust anybody that's so quick to call you a scammer. I remember the people that I've worked with in my life that were worried about somebody lying to them would climb a tree to tell a lie rather than stand on the ground and tell you the truth. They love to lie. And because they love to lie, they were afraid everybody else is lying to them. If somebody is scared to death somebody's going to steal from them, don't leave your wallet sitting around. I'm serious. So anybody that's quick to call you a scammer, they don't trust you because they don't trust their damn self. And they just think everybody is painted with the same brush and off the same palette.
Yes.
So that is human nature. So there's going to be people that call you scammers. And if you want to be successful, then don't get into any business. Don't get into your social media, because there's people whose full-time job is to troll. And you either can let that just bore a hole in your soul and destroy you, or you can laugh at them and say, like one of my favorite comedians on YouTube will say, he's from Greer, South Carolina. It's called Greer, but he jokingly calls it Gur. He's a really funny guy. And he says, he closes every video with, I'll be praying for you. Now in the South, we say things we don't mean. We say things like, bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart can mean I hate you and I want you to die. But I grew up in Sunday school and mama didn't raise me to tell you that straight, So I'll be praying for you means you're so stupid. I'm not sure prayer. I mean, in
Texas, it's like poor you, like really poor you. I'm just basically, I see you as you don't even have any idea of what you're saying. But you know what? I agree with you that a lot of the people that have this, they're liars and scammers, are calling you a scammer. And we have a saying in Spanish, el león juzga por su condición, which means the lion judges by their condition.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're liars. They see everybody. And you know what I tell them? Because I don't care, because I'm the older that I get, I always been honest and blunt. I'm like, you always be poor. You have limiting beliefs. Challenge your mindset. Change your view world. I used to say the same thing to about people and whatever. Change that so that you can become a successful entrepreneur.
So you're not there to change the unchangeable. I think our problem as human beings is we try to change people. We have enough trouble changing ourselves, and that's our responsibility. It's hard to change other people. That's their choice and divine intervention. But I tell people that I've had interesting conversations with, I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here to challenge your thinking. Challenge is different than change. So when you say, if you think it's a scam, just like if you think you can, you think you can't, you're right. If to you it's a scam, then it's a scam to you. It's going to work for a bunch of other people. It already has, and it will again. But if it's a scam to you, it's a scam. But I can relate to you because I've been where you are. I think that because I didn't always think like this. Right? I used to think everything's a scam. So this is something I learned from some new mentors. I just paid a lot of money so they can mentor me. They said, what about reverse paranoia? And I'd never heard that term before. I thought I had studied everything in mindset, but just when you think you studied everything, you realize you don't have studied nothing. So reverse paranoia. So if paranoia is you think everybody and everything's out to get you, what's reverse paranoia? that everything is out for your good. Everything has been aligned for your good. Now, there's a little bit of narcissism baked in that. So I think, but some people need to be more extremely leaning toward that because they're so naturally pessimistic and negative. Now, you know, being skeptical is healthy. Being pessimistic means even when the sun comes up, you're mad. I say optimists. I studied Charlie Plum. He was one of the Top Gun fighter pilots shot down in Vietnam, spent 7 years being treated subhuman in a Vietnamese POW camp. And he said what he realized was who didn't make it were somebody asked him when he got out, who made it? He said the realists made it. He said, who did make it? He said, the optimist nor the pessimist. The pessimist worried themselves that we're never going to get out of here. We're never going to get out of here. And it became self-fulfilling.
Yeah.
The optimist died because they said, we're going to be out by Christmas. We're going to be out by Easter. And if enough of those happen, they couldn't feed their optimism. So there is something to be said for skepticism and realism, which is to prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Hope for the best, yes.
Because they thrive on bitching and moaning and complaining. It's how they get their dopamine. See, I've said this. I don't know how popular this would be in the church setting, but I tell people the best drug dealer that's ever been is our creator. Because the best chemicals that have ever been made are here. And I'm convinced that every street drug is in and of itself is not addictive. It's what it does to short circuit releases of dopamine and serotonin and stuff like that. And the reason why social media and Mark Zuckerberg, just to pick on him, and Facebook is so dangerous is because they're like the drug dealers that figured out how to legalize dopamine addiction. You don't have to have the illegal substance now. You just need to be able to scroll. Dopamine now. It's still dopamine.
I would say Google because Google is the biggest and everything is free. I'm reading this book. What is the name of that book? The After Google, something like Life After Google.
Right.
I don't know if you heard of George Wilder or Gilder or something like that. And he's saying that Google's model is unsustainable because when you go from free, what happens? But is it free? Is it free? No, because we're spending time where?
So somebody kind of looked at when Congress grilled Zuckerberg, and I get that our elected leaders are so out of touch. Some of them are lifelong politicians.
Oh my God, definitely. Yeah.
So they're like, how can your product be free? And he said, well, sir, we run ads. So they said, when the product is free, guess what the product is? It's you. Our eyeballs are the product.
And our time.
Yeah. And so what has been a game changer is when you remember when people spend $30 million for a 30-second commercial during the Super Bowl because of how many eyeballs. You and I, if we work hard enough, can go get that many eyeballs on a YouTube video for free. But it ain't free because you've got to learn how to cook the algorithm and be relevant. And I mean, one of my mentors, I was looking at one of his emails. He said 800 videos later in 10 years, 800 videos in 10 years to get 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And he still ain't making any money. Now, he's a wealthy man. He's made money in other ways, but he ain't making money off of YouTube. So all this dream of, almost every kid, including all of mine, want to be a YouTuber when they grow up. Problem is everybody can't be a YouTuber and everybody can't be relevant and everybody can't suck long enough to get good at something. And so it's the same as what is affiliate marketing? How is that any different? Well, what I like about it, and I do a lot of different things, but what I like about affiliate marketing is what if I'm too lazy or ADD or ADHD to sit around and create up my own products?
Exactly.
What if I find somebody that's already been there, done that, and done a better job than me? Why can't I just say, hey, I've used this, I like this? It's referral marketing. Affiliate, I think we've messed that word up. It's referral marketing.
Yeah, referral marketing.
You've got a buddy that's a lawyer, doctor, Indian chief, and you say, my dentist will say, hey, if you bring us a referral and they sign up for teeth whitening, you win a thingy. Or get a thingy. That's called referral marketing, right?
Yeah.
Now, why do that at that scale when you could do it for a living? When you can go find good products and services you believe in. So back to this mindset thing. On the one hand, do you have to do everything you promote? And it goes back to what Jason Fladlin said. Do you have to own a jet to sell private jets? Do you have to own a yacht?
Not really.
To sell a yacht? No, because if you were wealthy enough to sell jet, own a jet and a yacht, would you sit around selling them? Only if you were just so independently and obscurely wealthy, you just liked sitting around doing that. No, but on the other hand, you got to find a balance between promoting every little salty thing that comes along, because what you find, you hear these stats about, oh, coaching is going to be the next $100 gazillion industry, right? The problem is the only people out there making money right now are the coaches coaching the coaches to learn how to coach the coaches. Or the people that have got are at scale, meaning they don't try to coach people they get off of Facebook ads. They go sign a contract with a Fortune 500 company and said, you're a consultant. You're going to come in and coach. I met one.
Funny that you said that.
He said, I just signed a contract with a company that has 1 million employees, and you can count on one hand how many companies there are in the world that have 1 million employees. And I'm going to do a program where I'm going to coach 83,000 of them. Well, that's a consultant. That's how you make money, right?
Yeah.
But the average, but then the people running Facebook ads, how they're making money mostly is coaching wannabe coaches. And the coaches are bleeding cash. So you know this, sadly, out of all the digital products that are marketed and sold, the completion rate is somewhere as high as 15%, but more likely 5%.
Yeah, some people they buy stuff and they don't even
log in. They don't know how to log in. They've never been in the members area. They've never watched a video, or they've watched them all, sucked up all that dopamine, and they're the worst referral ever because they're going to tell all their friends, I tried that didn't work. And they didn't do anything.
And exactly, they didn't do anything. But you know what? What I got from all that you were saying right now is that there's time, money, and effort. If you want to not spend any money, and I'm not saying that I spend ads because I don't spend ads, but I'm saying my time is money. What I do with my time creating content, and you have to be persistent and disciplined and focus on what you're doing every day. I wake up and every day I know what I need to do. And this is not easy being ADHD. Another thing that I can use as an excuse for not doing anything.
Yeah, I love
it. If you're not willing to put your time, you're going to then put more money and effort. So it's all together. You know what I mean? Time, money, and effort. Right. If you're going to put a lot of effort in your time and you don't want to put any money, it's going to take longer. And if you're working a 9 to 5, people want 100% results for working maybe 10% in their business. You see what I mean? If you're working a 9 to 5 and you're doing 40 hours a week, but most of the time you're just only putting an hour, maybe 5 hours, 6, the 4-hour week. Let me mention that.
Week, yeah.
Because a lot of people believe that you can do affiliate marketing in 4 hours, maybe in 10 years, not in the beginning.
So being you brought up Tim Ferriss and 4-hour work week, because that's a franchise. I mean, I got the 4-hour chef book. That thing. So,
makes me crazy.
So I am famous for overstating my case. Like my position on Warren Buffett calling crypto rat poison. I said it is rat poison. It kills rats, and rats are central bankers. And that's overstating my case. I get it. But so I get that Tim Ferriss is overstating his case. But it was a case that needed making for, why don't you decide how your life and then find a business that will get you that life rather than just taking a job and fitting your lifestyle into your income. So I get what he tried to do. But then I'm a big fan of Tim Ferriss. But I'm also a big fan of Ty Lopez, who says, if you love what you do, why stop after 4 hours a week? I love the hustle. I love the grind. I love what I do. So I'm never working. I work 100. I work every second because I have an integrated life. I don't leave my house and go to work. Then I don't leave my work and go to the gym. See, even before coronavirus, Ty was ahead of his time. He had his gym in his house. He had his office in his house.
Wow.
And he said, why do I have to go to a gym to work and I work out here? And so it's funny I say that because I've studied. I got a pull-up bar right there. I got a punching bag right there. I got a treadmill right there. I like to work out outside. I didn't do 75 hard. I think I invented it. No, I try to live an integrated lifestyle, and I've worked from home a long time before it was the new thing, and it was coronavirus. I got tired of going to the same plant every day, and I had to decide as I was investing in mentors. So you got to decide what you want. But the problem is, most people, when they're chasing affiliate marketing, they're not chasing it as a career, as something that they don't look at it as, I'm going to become a dentist or an engineer or a brain surgeon or an astronaut.
No, it's part-time. It's part-time because you said, no, use side hustle because hustle is.
I hate the term side hustle. I get that people. So, one of the sayings in marketing is sell people what they want, but then give them what they need. So one of the mentor groups I just got into, a mastermind, was their lead is getting you traffic, getting you exposure. What they secretly are is a mindset and personal development company. Because at the end of the day, traffic don't matter if you can't handle it.
Yeah.
Money don't matter if you can't handle it. So let's get back to what I believe might be the most important question in this.
Yes.
You got to have money. And what is money? Well, actual money, and most people don't know what money is because we ain't had money in this country since 1913. So when people want to run down capitalism, I say, well, what are you promoting in its absence? Socialism, communism, anarchy? So what the problem is, they want to point at problems with capitalism, but they don't know what capitalism is. Because I learned from one of my mentors, capitalism requires free markets. Free markets require free money, and we ain't had free money since
we don't have a free market.
There's nobody still alive that knows what real money looks like because it's just sitting in museums. So so here's how big a deal money is. Money is a store of value and is a store of your economic energy. Your economic energy is your time, your passion, your blood, your sweat, your tears. Yes. Too many times people have gone into religious, spiritual, whatever, in church environments, and they're scared to talk about the money except when they pass the plate. But the problem with that is it might be the most spiritual conversation you're going to have in this life, because it is the store of all that your creator put in you. It is a store of value. And when you're working for something that has already lost 98% of its purchasing power since 1913 and is losing its value at the most rapid rate in the history of mankind, there has to be something else. When somebody says, I don't know about crypto. Well, your problem is you've got Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome is when you have been a captive and abused so long that you fall in love with your captor and abuser.
Yeah.
We've been abused by central bankers and central politicians so long that it's the prison we know. It's
the top 5%.
Yeah. And so when somebody says, I don't know about all that, I was like, how are you storing your economic energy, your blood, your sweat, your tears in the US dollar? It's
that is valued by nothing. It's backed by nothing. That's not gold standard. They don't even
lie. It's hidden in plain sight. The Federal Reserve website says nothing backs the US dollar except the faith and credit of the US government. Is that going up or down? The faith.
$28 trillion. I show it the last time I went and I put the US tech clock. But you know how much taxes we get in revenue a year? We're at 28 trillion, almost $29 trillion of debt by our government from our money, because they take it from us. Taxes.
All money is debt.
Only $3 trillion, almost $4 trillion they actually gather every year in taxes. They're 25 trillion in the hole.
It's a sad that people don't notice, voters don't notice. Our taxes only go to pay the interest. We don't even pay principal. Think about if you did that. And I know some people have got some interest-only loans and arms, and it broke us. I mean, you remember what happened in 08 and 09? Yeah. Adjustable rate mortgages, no income, no interest, all that stupidity. So once we get away from fundamentals, the problem is the whole thing's rigged. So I played a game the other day on Facebook, and then everybody, you know how Facebook goes. It came, it went, everybody lost interest. I never answered the question. I asked the question, what's wrong with the markets? What's wrong with all stocks? Not can you pick a good stock? What's wrong with, and I'm going to divulge it here so nobody go back to that post. What's wrong with real estate? What's wrong with commodities? What's wrong with precious metals? What's wrong with every asset class up until we the people created Bitcoin and crypto? It's all tied to a failing fiat currency system, not money. Money has to be a store of value. Currency is just paper. It's just made up. There have been thousands of fiat currencies in the history of humanity. So we're not going to talk about specifically about crypto, but you got to do something to make money. You have to. The problem is you don't know what money is. So how would you even know how to create it? How would you know how to earn it? And so too many times, like you said, affiliate marketing is, I'm just looking for a side hustle. Also, I was going to say, we got to quit using the word hustle, because if you look it up, it's like scam. Hustle is typically associated with running really, really fast. Like, you know, whenever the coyote was running, but in one place and the rock still fell on him, that's hustling, right? Hustling ain't getting nowhere. It's just working really hard, sweat popping off of you.
Like a rat race. It's going around in the circle.
Like a shell game, right? You can't never win that shell game because that guy knows the rules and you don't, right? So side hustle, everybody's looking at side hustle. My message is to quit hustling and quit working for money and find out what money is and what it isn't and put money to work for you. And that's why we like crypto and the plan so much.
Passive income.
Truly passive income. And I told you I've chased the dream of passive income my whole life. I started a really big brand leveraging Amazon FBA. There was nothing passive about it. I had a lot of people working for me, and if I didn't pay attention, they didn't do the work. And so I tried to ride off in the sunset, and then the business would implode. And I told you, if anybody thinks real estate is passive, they've never got a call in the middle of the night about a roof leak or toilet plugged up or, oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
So you got to have an economy of scale. You've got to have people that you trust running your businesses. And so I said it before and I'll say it again. If you understand the cash flow quadrant, the E's and the S's are taxed at the highest rate. And I don't believe a B was the end goal. I think B was a hot skip and a jump to get to I. That's why we watch.
Yeah.
I'm repetitive, if nothing else. Sharks, we watch it because they sold all their businesses. Most like Mr. Wonderful sold a company for several $billion, took several $100 million out of the deal. And now what's he invest in? Not his hustle, somebody else's. What has Warren Buffett done? Invested in America's hustle. He invested in Coca-Cola's hustle. He invested in Wrigley's hustle. He invested in Dairy's hustle. He invested in other people's hustle. Why be an entrepreneur and hustle when you can invest in other? And so I'm not smart enough to develop technologies on a blockchain. I didn't know what DeFi was till somebody told me. I have to come to grips with the fact that I'm probably not Jeff Bezos. I'm probably not Elon Musk. I'm not going to start the next $1 billion thing, nor do I want to. I'm not the 12-year-old kid that's going to figure out how to pimp NFTs in my sleep and make $12 gazillion. I want to invest in the companies that profit from that. I told you the Forbes 400 list just came out. Wealthiest people on earth. The 7 new billionaires, all from crypto, not just from holding it. They all founded exchanges. They're providing a service. They're providing me an on-ramp to be able to get into crypto because I'm not smart enough to do that. And that ain't that what capitalism is. I invest in someone else's hustle. He had to find the code writers. He has to make payroll. He has to provide pizza and beer for them after work.
Or Stephen.
What?
Or Stephen, or you find another brain and you mesh your brains with somebody else, smart like you and I together, and then we do something big. I don't understand doing something big, and I'm not a narcissist, but
no, I do a lot of big stuff because I
know what I mean.
Big, but I have to come to grips with, again, finding that balance between being narcissistic and thinking I'm gonna be the next Jeff Bezos versus thinking I'm so stupid I can't figure out a good deal when I see it. And that's the conversation I had with my brother. He said, you know, there's smart people in the world and you ain't one of them. I said, but I ain't the dumbest either. It's kind of like they say the joke about, and they say when you're a zebra and you wake up in the Serengeti in Africa, you don't have to outrun the fastest lion. You just have to outrun the slowest zebra because they can't eat all of them, right? So I don't have to outrun the fastest. I have to outrun the slowest.
Exactly. And to quote Robert Kiyosaki, who are the ones that are the top Jeff Bezos? Did they have A's? No, they had C's. No, and what do they do? They actually surrounded themselves with what? With smarter people than them. The president doesn't work by himself. They have cabinets.
Andrew Carnegie wrote his own epitaph. He wrote on his headstone, "Here lies a man who surrounded himself with people far smarter than him." He was the dumbest guy in the room, but the richest guy in the room. They said that they declared that Henry Ford was too stupid to run his own company. He told a bunch of engineers that he wanted a V8 engine. I know, I'm an engineer, and they told him, "Oh, you're too stupid. There's no such thing. It's against the laws of nature. Physics will not allow you to have a V8 engine." He said, "All I know is I had a dream and I'm going to have a V8 engine." His vision beat engineering. Of course, we know we got V8 engines now, so we know who won that. But a bunch of team of smart engineers told him a V8 engine was impossible, and we have V8 engine. So I'm always fascinated with that. And Kiyosaki said A students work for C students and B students work for the government.
Exactly.
And that's been part of my problem because I was an A student. I actually am
Me too.
Too good, smart for my own good in certain areas. So I've had to humble myself and go, I would rather be dumb. I don't mean that literally with a lot of money than be smart and be broke. Because hey, poor dad remember he was
exactly. He had a PhD and he was poor. And it's not that. You can have all the intelligence. This is again to end it with this. There's a fixed mindset and there's a growth mindset. A fixed mindset says, well, I'm intelligent. I'm going to succeed because of my intelligence. That doesn't mean anything.
Right.
You can be the dumbest person in the room, but if you are working, you're consistent, you have a vision, and you have the right mindset, you will go farther than the high IQ guy from Mensa.
Mindset's everything. Because if you go out in affiliate marketing because you got to have some money, it's like asking a stove for heat so you're warm enough to go out and get wood. No, the stove don't care about how cold you are, how cold it is outside. Stoves give you heat, assuming it's a wood stove, when you put in the wood. You got to put in the work. And so instead of showing up to affiliate marketing or anything, but that's what we're talking about, as if I got to have the money, show up as how many people can I serve? And you can't serve everybody.
Exactly. That's what I was going to go serving.
Yeah, because look, I believe that the plan in crypto is the most democratic or most broad-reaching thing. Let's face it, you and I promoted some things with, let's say it's how to build an email list. People ain't interested in building an email list.
They don't care. It's problems and solutions.
They want to stay retired. They're worried about the stock market. They're worried about inflation. They want to, but they don't want to start figuring out how to do side hustles. Most people don't want to. But there are a group of people who can benefit from some of the things we promote. Like, I love quiz funnels. We promoted Ryan Levesque's quiz funnels. I love quiz funnels. I don't expect everybody to love quiz funnels. I think it's one of the most brilliant ways to generate qualified leads and to segment them. But if you don't know what that means and you don't care, then but I think that's the other thing is we too many times get emotionally attached to what we sell and try to drag people kicking and screaming into success land, and they don't care. And you got to be more like somebody who's offering hors d'oeuvres at a party. I ain't the caterer. I wear the little short white or red jacket. I get paid the same whether you eat them or not. You want one of these things? What's it got in it? Don't know. Might have snails. I don't care. I don't like snails. I don't care. I get paid the same. Now the chef might get mad. The caterer might get mad. The owner of the party might get. Hey, take them, leave them. I don't care. Champagne. Here it is. It got a little ball. It might have sausage in it. It might have snails in it. I don't even know what's in here, and I don't care. I ain't eating it. I'm going to Burger King later. So, I mean, so you almost in a way got to hear some. If you want to get it, if you like it, try it, tell your friends about it. I don't care, right? So you got to be somewhat emotionally attached. I don't mean you can't be passionate about it. Now, if the chef comes out, so again, as affiliate marketers, like, hey, I think it's pretty good. I think the chef's pretty awesome. I don't know what's in it, but he does. Now, if he wants to come out, which is what we invite people to in webinars, right? We don't even have to do the webinar. I don't have to write the copy. I don't know how to do the webinar. I'm like,
we don't.
I think the chef's really good. And maybe he wants to come out and say a few things. He's like, yeah, I sourced the best grass-fed this and free-range that, and I simmered it for 900 days before I got here. And I'm like, wow, that sounds great. I'm like, man, I didn't know all that. Here's you some. Want some? Right? And we get paid, and he gets paid, and everybody's happy. I mean, I think I just oversimplified affiliate marketing.
Yeah. Some people are not happy because some people asked me when I was in TikTok going live, well, do you make a commission? Yes, I do. It says up there in my thing, this is all I do. This is my full-time business. It's up there. I'm an affiliate. I said it there. I make a commission. I can tell you how to do it. So there was a lot of haters and like, oh, you're making money out of this. I said, somebody's gonna make a money if you buy this from anybody. They're gonna make a commission. Somebody is. If I present you with this offer, why shouldn't I not get that commission myself? I can show you how to do it.
Making Jeff Bezos money. Because people don't buy them from Amazon. They're worried about you making money, but they're not worried about Elon Musk making. I'm amazed at how the people, and that's a mindset. And if you're worried about somebody making money, you can never make money because that's a scarcity mindset. That's a lack mindset. And so to wrap it up, I was watching a video today while I was studying stuff about how we have biases to where we think about the good old days. Well, it was a video. It took 4 minutes. He graphically represented every nation for the last 200 years. And down here was poor and sick, and up here was healthy and wealthy. And everybody, every country has gotten healthier and wealthier for 200 years. There are less poor people on earth now than there were. Everybody has gotten healthier and wealthier collectively. And there's more people on earth than there were 200 years ago. And so life has gotten better. So this says there's an abundance. Now, when you think the only way you can get healthy and wealthy is if you come take my health and wealth, the only way you can be healthy and wealthy is to make me sick and poor. That's called ruling class. That's called authoritarianism. That's a problem. That's scarcity, right? Yeah. And if you live in a scarcity mindset, and that's the difference. We could boil this down and finish this up between, we said it was software. Mindset was a programming. There can be a lot of states. You can be sad, mad, glad. We could probably sit down here and write out 100 or 1,000 different mental states, but let's boil it down to two. You're either resourceful or you're not. You're either going to find a way out of your problem or you're not. You either think there's enough to go around and you can be healthy and wealthy and I can be healthy and wealthy, or you think you got to wait for me to fall asleep and sneak in my house and take what I got. Or you're scared to death that I'm going to tell you about something that might make you money and me money too. I've never understood it. Now, again, it's not our business to change minds. If you think that it's going to hurt you because I make money off of something that's going to benefit you, I hope you make $1 billion off of everything I promote.
Me too.
See, here's the thing. If you're successful, there's no limit on what you can make. There's a limit on what I can make. If I sell you a product that's $2,000, let's say, and it's a 50% commission, I make $1,000. That's all I ever make. That's before taxes, by the way. And then I got to pay.
Exactly. We're not an MLM either. I told them we're not. Right. We don't do a percentage of the money that you make. You can make more money than me. You can make less money.
You don't pay more because I get paid. Like, so if you know how mommy bloggers make money, right? If mommy says, hey, I tried this yoga ball. I always talk about yoga ball because you sell them. There's one there. I used to sit on Zooms like this with a yoga ball. Like, you're making me sick, Chris. I can't not bounce on a bouncy ball, so it's over there.
Well, with me, you can do that. It doesn't matter.
It may be bought in our audience, but you know, somebody says, "Hey, I tried this yoga ball and it's great." And if you click on the hyperlink and go buy the yoga ball, Yoga Mom gets 15 cents.
Exactly.
They don't make a lot of money, but you don't pay more to Amazon so she can get 15 cents. Amazon just decided, hey, if you were the one that refers the sale, I'll give you 15 cents.
Exactly.
He's not going to get rich off of you, right? But people don't seem to have a problem with that. They'll read articles and go, oh, yeah, I want one of those. Click. And they don't realize that when you watch TV and you call QVC, you call HSN, or you go to Walmart, or you buy from Amazon, you are making somebody money.
Exactly.
Why not Marty? Why not Steven? Why not your uncle? Why not your cousin? So when you're worried about somebody else making money, you are shining a light on your own stinking thinking, and that you will limit you will self-sabotage. You can't, like, oh, you're just trying to make money. Yeah. As opposed to what? Just get up here and, because I've studied some brilliant people on TikTok, and they spend a lot of their time giving value and being funny and entertaining. But guess what? Eventually they want you to go to a link in the bio and learn more about what they can do for you, because they got bills.
Bills.
Jay-Z got bills. Jay-Z might have bigger bills than I got. Oprah's got bills. Bill Gates got bills. He never stopped making money because he got bills. People tend to make more money and then take on more bills. Everybody got bills. Warren Buffett got bills. He might have different bills than I got. So I don't understand why. You realize when you put money in anything, you're making somebody money. Even you buy your groceries, you're making a grocery store guy money. You're making a lot of people money, not farmers a whole lot, but farmers make money and the truck drivers make money. That's called capitalism. It's called free market. So if I'm on TikTok telling you about this cool way to make money, oh, I don't trust you because you're making money. Not only trust you if you are. That's a different mindset, right? We said reverse paranoia. Exactly. Everything, like Jason says, when you hear people go, I don't know about crypto and Bitcoin, it's so volatile. What if that's a feature and not a problem?
A disadvantage, yeah.
What's that? What if everybody else sees? Because Rich Dad talked about going and find properties that nobody wanted to buy because they had a problem, and then solve the problem for pennies on the dollar and make quick money. Everybody else avoiding the problem. And so here's the problem. We spend most of our time in life avoiding problems, but money comes to people who solve problems. If you want more money, solve bigger and better problems. Like, wait, you're going to solve my problem, but you want to also profit at the same time? Yeah.
Yeah, it's our job.
It's our job. Impact, influence, income. Good luck without it. And so that's what I was put here on earth to do is again, back to money, store of energy. So what's your energy is whining and complaining on TikTok. And if I'm talking to you, deal with it, right? Go look in the mirror. But if you got time to whine about somebody trying to make money and scam on TikTok, you got too much time.
Exactly.
And you got problems. So, but for those that, and we say this because if you're not one of those people and you want to get started in one of the programs that Mario may promote, then you got to get over knowing that if you're not the troll, someone is. There's trolls out there. We live in a world of trolls. Deal with it. And they're not going to cost you money. If anything, I found out in business that how you treat the trolls will make your audience love you. You're not going to convert a troll. I have actually Sometimes trolls just want attention, and I give them attention, but I don't call them out. I love on them instead of hate on them, and they flip. And then they become your evangelist. So sometimes we got to love, they say you got to love the tough ones.
Yeah.
So.
And TikTok, I had to block them because they will they will report me and say that I did illegal activities or that I was a scammer or that I was inauthentic. So they said scam. I didn't say anything. Block, mute, bye. But I didn't.
There's certain labels you can't wear. I say we throw that word scam out too much because it means illegal, immoral, and I mean, it's illegal. So you say, all right, let's have a conversation. If it's a scam, call the police. If it ain't, shut up. Mm-hmm. Call the police or shut up. Because if you see somebody breaking the law, as a law-abiding citizen, you ought to do something about it. If you're not going to do anything about it, quit whining about it. It'd be like me sitting here watching people take all my neighbor's stuff out of his front door and not call anybody going to do it and go, man, it ain't my job. I don't know what I was supposed to do. And don't whine about the guy stealing his stuff. Go do something about it or shut up and don't, so that, but we're talking about how the mindset has to come where there's going to be trolls.
Misery likes company, and some misery, they just don't want anybody to, since their life is horrible, they don't want anybody else to make it anywhere. So if you're making money, they're like, oh my God, this lady is making money. She's whatever, uneducated, whatever they want to see me and whatever. And that's why another reason why sometimes I wear my Baylor University and I say I have a master's, even though that doesn't mean anything now in our world, but again, mindset will keep you successful or not. So challenge yourself, because you're the only person that can deal with the frame and the content in your mind.
And don't be so selective about who you don't want to make money. Why us poor folk? Everybody belabors the fact that Bezos is a billionaire, but they don't stop him from going to Amazon.com. I don't know that they ever think, oh my gosh, who am I making wealthy right now by buying this stuff I don't need? Versus somebody's on TikTok just trying to make a living. And but that's okay that it's foreign to me, because that means I've worked on this, on my mind setting, and still have a lot more work to do. That's the neat thing about the personal development journey, is the further you get down it, the further you realize you have to go. One of the things I really liked about martial arts is you start with a white belt. It's white, it's clean, it's pure. You're just an open vessel, empty. But over time, it gets dirty. It's getting darker, right? Because you're headed towards the colors and brown. What's interesting, if somebody's been a black belt long enough, you know what color that belt turns? It fades. And it's a yin and a yang. After all the years of being a black belt, they realize, man, I know less than I used to know. And that's another bias. Is there's the bias of thinking you know more than you do. And then there's the bias of, my gosh, I know so much. What don't I know? And there's just always that fun tension in life to try to find a balance between, am I too confident about what I think I know, or am I too negative? And I know enough to go be successful and bring value to people. And that's the ultimate, at the end of the day, is how do you bring value to people?
Exactly. I think that's the perfect way to close it.
Yeah. And it don't always have to be your value. Go back to affiliate marketing. It can be a partnership with someone else, because to wrap it up, I remember profoundly impacted me when Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank said, you need to go find and he had a name for the guy. He said, I had built my business as big as I could build it. And I had to go find a guy and give him half my equity so he could take it from a multi-million-dollar company to a multi-billion-dollar company. And he had to get over himself. He had to acknowledge the fact he did not know how to scale it to the next level, but he was willing to give up half of it to a guy that did, because he'd rather have 50% of something huge than 100% of something small. And that's where ego will get in the way. I'm willing to partner with people who have something that I don't have and can take me to the next level. And is that worth me giving up equity for that? And that's how we're looking.
It is, because it's quantity and quality. But man, we need to do this again, Steve. Thank you guys for watching.
You know how to find me. Have your people call my people.
Definitely. Thank you so much. And do you have a website that you can want to send somebody?
StephenMWest.com. Make it easy for you.
StephenFWest.com.
M's right on the screen.
Sorry. He said it so fast, I didn't get it. StephenMWest.com. Okay.
Yeah, StephenMWest.com. Because there's this, I didn't used to use my middle initial, but there's another Stephen West, and I don't want you to get me confused with him. So StephenMWest.com.
The N one, not the F one.
Yeah, I don't know that guy.
So thank you so much, Stephen. And again, if you're new to my channel, subscribe, hit the bell, go to stephenandwest.com if you want to deal with this amazing guy. And we see you guys later. So stay out of trouble. This is Maricruz, bridging the gap between the rich and the poor, coming from the great state of Texas and the great state of Virginia.